Hello again, this is Alex with MasterChartsTrading.com, and this is market recap for Friday, May 11th, 2018. First of all, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This will mean a lot to me. Thank you. I think the stocks could be breaking up to the upside. Some of the weaker sectors are utilities and staples. We'll look at some of the other sectors like real estate, home builders, and home builders appear vulnerable. Bonds are near 52-week lows again, junk that can easily make a fresh low, and this could weigh on the stock market. Lots of Forex action, then gold review, and we possibly want to consider shorting GDX now. We'll look at natural gas, we'll look at oil. Energy companies are benefiting, and I think cryptos are again ripe for shorting. Okay, so let's look at stocks first. Here is S&P 500. Mini futures on the daily time frame. So throughout the presentation, again, if you have not watched my videos before, I'll be using these four lines on the indicator. They are called indicator lines. They show support and resistance, and you can find out more about them at MasterChartsTrading.com. So here what I'm seeing is, this is actual chart I was sending to my subscribers. And I said that I'm waiting for a retest of resistance, this blue line here, which was successfully retested on the 9th of May. And then notice that we have a nice move higher. So you could technically already make this a nice trade. If you're nimble, simply buy on this breakout, and you probably already have your target by now. So stocks are bullish. I think we could easily continue higher. I mean, there's resistance here at 2789, but this is a bullish security, so I would expect eventually for this to be a bullish outcome. So basically fresh highs. I don't know when, obviously, but sometime in the not very distant future. SPY S&P 500. Here's an actual alert I sent, so you can see that we got our target. Target was pretty small, but we just need to have a good success rate, which we do. And the target which was reached, and then at this point you can actually either take the money off the table. Additionally, I always say that we should move our stop to entry, so that if all of a sudden tomorrow this security unravels, we could say, okay, well, at least we have made some money. Notice that the next support level at 254, I said here next support level. Notice we didn't really get down that low. So again, this shows that the bulls are still in control of the stock market. XLK is a really strong sector, so technology continues coming up to the fresh highs again. So technology is leading the market higher, which is a very good sign, because it's an aggressive sector. In other words, if the investors are betting that technology will continue higher and they're still buying at this relatively high levels, if you say so, you can see a gap here. So there is this is what I call a buy-in pressure. So overall, again, bullish chart. Fresh highs are very likely on this fund. Also XLY, which is consumer discretionary, another very aggressive fund in a sense of the companies here are cyclical in nature. So there's lots of retailers and restaurants and things of that nature. Overall, again, this is an aggressive fund, and well, I guess this is a good sign that it is approaching fresh highs, because it shows a good appetite for risk. Some of the laggards here are utilities. I keep saying that this is a bearish security. Notice that I would be, if I was trading it right now, I would be shorting it, and I would be shorting it possibly with options. I mean, you could have just bought the $51 put, even anywhere here. Now you're in a nice profit already. So again, overall bearish security. Fresh lows are quite likely here, especially if bonds continue lower. We'll get to bonds in a second. This one kind of still sort of confuses me. I mean, this is a consumer staples and not very aggressive, but what I meant to say, it's a really big part of of the market, in the sense of there are big companies in this fund. So for example, Clorox, and this is a big company. Why is it near the lows? It's kind of difficult to say, and there's many guesses as to why that is happening. But we have to basically play our cards that were dealt to us. So on this chart, I would have avoided it. In other words, if I had a position open, I would have closed it. As early as the late February of 2018 of this year. And notice how nicely sometimes these indicators call price action. So I would have potentially set a short here at March 12th of this year, and notice very nice move. Another bounce, another fresh low. So this is a bearish behavior of a security, and for now I don't see a turnaround for this particular fund. Let's look at real estate. Real estate may actually turn around. I mean, we're getting really close to these bullish levels. I mean, if I see a close above 78, now my mind will stop thinking that we're in a downtrend and start thinking that we're maybe in an uptrend and look for buying opportunities. So yeah, keep our minds open to the possibility of a bullish outcome in a bearish security. This is called a turnaround, a reversal. XHB, which are home builders, notice where they're at. These are approaching fresh lows. Notice how, again, these indicators call the price action quite well. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if we close below this yellow line, I would be completely avoiding it. Right now, I'm cautioning my subscribers against them, against this particular fund. But again, if we close below this yellow line, I would just completely avoid them. All right, let's look at bonds now. Okay, let's continue to bonds. Here, TLT and a daily time frame again. So last couple of videos back, I pointed out this level here at around 118.70, and again, this is an aggressive short level. And if you're an aggressive trader, which I am no longer aggressive, like before I would short it right at this yellow line, and now it's like let's wait for a bounce, and this is where I would have shorted, around the red line here, which is currently around 121. Again, this is a support resistance indicator. So overall, bonds are bearish, and I think fresh lows are much more likely than a turnaround. Here's overall bond market AGG. Fresh low just this week. So pretty obvious downtrend. LQD, which are corporates, again, fresh low right there on the 8th of May this year. So overall, again, I'm looking at this chart from a point of view of a downtrend. I don't see a turnaround anywhere on this chart. Junk bonds. I mean, if this low from April holds, and I think we're retesting that low, and there isn't. It's really possible that this low will not hold, and a low from February will be retested. Again, if you're an aggressive trader, then you could potentially even short now, but I am not, and I would be looking for a deeper pullback somewhere to currently around 36 bucks. So for example, notice before we had here a couple of opportunities, for example, one around February of this year, and another really good opportunity here around April of this year. And this opportunity I actually took myself. I did I put some put options, and it worked in my favor here. So overall, bonds in a downtrend, junk bonds in a downtrend, and as I keep saying, junk bonds and stocks correlate highly. So a downward pressure on junk bonds may translate into downward pressure on stocks, but so far it hasn't translated. So we'll see. Okay, let's continue to the Forex universe. This is the dollar currency index, US dollar currency index. So up until relatively recently, I keep saying that, you know, this is a bearish security, but then here I was starting to notice some signs that maybe we're bottoming, and then lo and behold, we got a rally to around 93, and right now we're see how this indicator lines are curving down. In other words, currently the prices has very little to travel towards this blue line, and this blue line would to me imply that we're now in a bull market. In other words, if I was trading this one, I would not be shorting it, I would be buying it. And right now there's a very strong possibility that this will happen. And if dollar breaks out about, you know, above 94 or so, I think we could easily see a fresh bull run for the dollar versus other currencies. Euro versus US dollar. You know, it's euro is a big part of dollar index, so it makes perfect sense. Notice it's trading below the support, currently around $1.20, and you know, very little distance is required to travel towards the bear market, which is currently around 1.16. British pound versus US dollar, kind of similar picture. Again, notice that very little distance is required to travel towards the bear market. US dollar versus Japanese yen. Big rally for US dollar versus Japanese yen here from the lows from March. And again, we're approaching bullish levels, which would be around 111 or so. US dollar versus Canadian dollar. This one is a little bit tougher chart, but notice how interesting. See where the price has touched this blue indicator line. So sometimes those indicator lines will really serve as a useful guidepost of where to buy and sell at the very least, and where to put the stop. So US dollar versus Canadian dollar, US dollar versus Swiss franc, USD CHF. Same thing, notice a breakout. Does it work every time? No, it doesn't. But sometimes it works really well, this particular system. US dollar versus Mexican peso. Yeah, you know, same thing. Notice a close above this blue resistance line at around 118.98, 675, and then a nice move higher. So this is what I call a trend change. Notice that here on this security, US dollar versus Mexican peso, here we could have shorted, continued to short. The reason being is because our trend change would have been a close above this blue line, and notice it never occurred until very recently, just this week basically. There's that breakout on the 2nd of May, or rather last week. So, you know, again, this indicators call the action quite nicely sometimes. All right, so again, overall, the dollar may be turning around. It's very possible, and not a lot of pressure is required to get up there. So it's definitely possible. Of course, this will weigh on gold. Here's XAU USD. We can also look at gold futures, GC1 exclamation point on TradingView. So bottoming action here at around 1300, around support resistance line. I am kind of ambivalent again about gold. The reason being because of the gold miners. If you listen to my previous videos, I am again ambivalent because of the gold miners. I don't like this action. Starting in February of this year, this feels to me like bearish action. So I am, I'm avoiding gold and gold miners until the picture clarifies. And once again, if the dollar rallies, then gold miners and gold will once again get demolished, basically. And yeah, this could be easily a big shorting opportunity quite soon. Maybe buy a put at 22.50 or so, something like that. Okay, so that's gold miners. Let's look at oil, CL1 exclamation. Big rally here to fresh highs. We're at 71 bucks now. Alert. This was an alert to my subscribers on the 13th of February. We used USO to trade, and actually this is a nice gain there, so that's about 21%. And if you trade oil futures, then this would have been a leveraged trade. So currently I think we're going to be pulling back, most likely similar to what we had here in March of this year, March-April. So I'm thinking that easily we could pull back to around 66 bucks or so. Then we'll evaluate the price action. Right now the price action is clearly bullish, and if I was trading it, I would be buying it. Here are some energy companies, diversified, well, not very diversified. XLE, select sector SPDR. Notice a breakout here on the 17th, and actually this is an alert sent to my subscribers. Nice move higher. Basically we're approaching fresh highs again here. Two of the biggest components, ExxonMobil, also approaching bullish levels. Look at this. This is quite bullish price action. CVX, Chevron, this one, there's an alert sent to subscribers on the 17th, and looks like it's going towards fresh highs. And I wanted to show one more, Occidental Petroleum. This one is a big winner here. So alert was sent to the subscribers here on the 10th of April. Nice move, almost 22% move to the upside. So overall, oil and oil companies look bullish, and they could continue higher. But I think a pullback towards around 66 bucks is very possible for oil. Okay, let's finish up with Bitcoin and other cryptos. This is a live chart, so Bitcoin versus US dollar. I think this is a bearish security. If I was trading it, I would be shorting it. Notice several, there's one arrow here on the 25th of April, and here's another one where I would have been shorting basically on the 8th of May of this year. The reason being we see a close below this red indicator line. You can find out more about them at MasterCharts Trading, about these indicators. Again, you need a bigger account to trade Bitcoin this way, because I would have put my stop way up here, above the blue line. So if you have a relatively small account, we can do LTC USD. It's not as expensive. Same thing, same principle. For example, here is a previous occasion on the 17th of March, short here. Another occasion here on the 25th of April. And actually, if you held through this small uptick, and I would have put my stop above 243 in this case, above this blue line, then it would have worked just fine, because it's already in profit here. And another, I think, good opportunity is on close here on the 8th of May of this year. So overall, already a profitable trade if you traded it. ETH versus USD. So this one is slightly stronger. I'm waiting for basically a close below this red line, and here's one with a close below this red line and a 40% drop. So yeah, this happens sometimes. We'll see if this happens this time. Alright, so please head over to MasterChartsTrading.com. Again, if you haven't liked the video, like the video. Click on alerts and indicators and sign up here. You can get my separate alerts and indicators, or you just want to get an alerts, that's also fine. Okay, if you have any questions, please send them in, and of course if you have any comments, you can also post them below. Thanks for watching. Have another great trading week. Bye bye.